Some billion years ago, a terror swept through the universe, a terror which was destroyed so utterly that we know almost nothing about it. We know of it because it left an unmistakable footprint on the stars, a swath of destruction which could only be deliberate. But a species lives which dimly remembers the terror. This is their story, the story of the Tzak. Of their true origin or homeworld, we know nothing. We know that they were conquered by the terror. We know that they were resettled to a colossal dead star, an anomalous black dwarf of enormous size. We know that the Tzak form was that of a nearly flat microorganism capable of individual or group activity, much in the way of slime molds on Earth. We know also that their metabolism was and is based on sequestered radioactive materials. Perhaps they always existed in this form, or perhaps they were so shaped by the terror. We know that they were, in fact, a specialized slave race, sent to toil on a dead star for meager traces of radioactive material. To understand the Tzak, one must understand the countless millions of years they spent toiling on their star. Because of the high gravity, they lived a two-dimensional existence, for all things existed on the same flat plane, and a fall of half an inch would prove fatal. The life of the ancient Tzak could take two forms. As lone microorganisms, they were quite unintelligent, knowing only the immediate pursuit of their own survival. Thus, living in one eternal moment, they were spared the knowledge of their horrible fate. However, when congregating in large groups, the Tzak would form an intricate and interconnected fabric capable of higher reasoning. In this state, they could understand their existence, make plans, and enjoy all the delights and horrors of self-aware cognition. In general, these forms would seek a greater degree of connection, integrating more and more microorganisms in an earnest social project. But, because of their physiology, this great degree of connectedness would result in greater concentrations of radioactive materials, and the terror was always watching. Always it went the same way. As the multicellular Tzak form reached new heights of cognition, delighting in its fresh awareness of self and its expanding horizons, something came from above and snatched it up. The primal archetypal terror of the thing from above is the most important aspect of Tzak psychology, even now. I cannot explain the terror that two-dimensional beings feel when attacked from a third dimension. They lived a two-dimensional life with the terror as the only exception. The utter helplessness is unimaginable. It is as if we three-dimensional beings were the prey of fourth-dimensional creatures, things which could move through time as easily as we travel through space. There were many attempts to escape or defend. All were futile. And so the Tzak spent hundreds of millions of years as living batteries, existing only to be harvested, living either in an unreasoning stupor of toil, or in a grim awareness destined to be quenched at its highest apotheosis. Their sole purpose was to harvest radioactive materials for the terror. And then it stopped. The terror ended. The Tzak, being capable now of enduring reason, embarked on the project of building a society. Civilization developed, and their massive homeworld was, in time, unified. Several important factors must be mentioned. The Tzak, because of their physiology, were immune to aging. Their individual cells died, but could be replaced ad infinitum. Their physiology also inclined them towards collective projects. Because their intelligence was an emergent property of many independent cells cooperating, they were quite good at acting for the common good, without losing sight of the individual. They were also quite patient, for living under the terror had taught them patience. It has been said that the Tzak lived a two-dimensional life. This was true even after they developed a grand civilization. The high gravity of their stellar environment left no alternative. Indeed, the terror became an ancient memory shrouded in myth, and popular consensus said that there were really only two dimensions. But, as their scientific instruments developed, they made an alarming discovery. They looked up and discovered a sky teeming with stars. The decision was unanimous. All Tzak agreed that the stars must be blotted out. This became the sole objective of the race. Nothing good could come from above. Nothing good had ever come from above. A three-dimensional universe was an utter abomination, the house of the terrors. This conviction was held with a profoundly religious zeal which reached back to the Tzak's earliest ancestral memories. Any evidence of three-dimensionality must be met with violent xenophobia. It couldn't be any other way. So with a crusader's fervor, they rebuilt their society. They developed crafts capable of starflight, dense black needles grown from a stellar organism. They began to hatch subtle and patient plans for their campaign against the universe, plots with billion-year time scales. They also developed a specialized form for their campaign, a horrible, giant, brain-like mass larger than a truck, moving around on countless dark spines, with recessed black pits for eyes. They see this form as an abominable thing, for, being three-dimensional, it is the very thing they hate. But it could not be any other way. To exterminate the foul three-dimensionals, the Tzak must take on their form, learn their disgusting ways and repugnant thought processes. They use this self-loathing as fuel, a constant reminder of their reason for being. When their task is complete and there are no stars left, they will retire to their homeworld and return to their flat forms, to live a happy life under no sky. The Tzak know that they must keep their ultimate goal a secret, lest all unite against them. Their plans are long, subversive, and indirect. They recognize that wanton destruction of stars would trigger the ire of stellar empires. They must first subvert and destroy these empires through devious and ingenious means. One such means is trade or gifts. The Tzak are exquisite biological engineers, making no distinction between life and technology. Hence, they trade cybernetics, specialized organisms designed to complete particular tasks, and slaves, both modified and unmodified. Slave trade and the indiscriminate sale of living weapons is clearly detrimental to any spacefaring civilization. Some of their trade goods also serve other nefarious purposes, such as the cybernetic eyes which enhance sight, but transmit information to the Tzak, or the artificial organs which are rumored to cause antisocial and destructive behaviors. It is said that the Tzak have a base hidden within the atmosphere of Saturn, though this is not confirmed. In any case, they have been spotted trading with pirates near Ganymede and Io. They have also been implicated in the recent hyper-communist unrest on Venus. Please do not trade with them or accept their gifts.